what I do know is that it is a film for everybody. I've heard, oh, there's a girl on the cover, that's your problem. Well, you know, tough shit,
Wow, what
man.
a really like the level of patriarchy, it's so steeped in
And
everything we do.
I would have used to nod politely, thinking that's not really true. It
Right.
is true. And
It's disgustingly true.
I will tell an anecdote from set that I'm not allowed to tell, which is that because quite frankly, the negative zero number of fucks I give at this point, you don't have to, you can cut that out of your podcast, or your video. There was a day on set that, I will tell this as I recall it. I believe it is accurate. A whole bunch of crew guys. And if you've ever been on a film set around crew guys, it's basically like Bros Central, but on steroids, because they
Wow.
also have big, big and long gear along with them that acts as an extension of their usually questionable anatomy. And so here they were. Um, And because I was rushing back from a scene that had gone slightly over, they had decided to set up the next scene themselves, something you do not do, even if the director is a bona fide idiot, you never do this without consulting a director first.
Right.
I was outraged and I kept saying, who did this? Who did this? This is unacceptable. I did not approve this. Who did this? Who did this? And because this is a little female voice that keeps talking, it's not very loud, and well, it can get extremely loud, but it stayed very level. I want to know who did this. I want you to stop it right now. It was a wide shot that served no purpose. I know why they thought, well, let's set up for a wide first, because if you are a film person and you are fairly, how shall I put this politely, stupid, you would think that every scene needs a wide. Um,
Oh, oh, goodness. Sorry. Hold on 1 second. Hi, I'm on the call still. Yeah,
Sorry.
that's okay. I'll call you after. That's okay. Yeah, okay. Bye.
and you are
Oh,
more than welcome to
there we
edit
go.
this out, but these are people I would never ever work again with in any capacity. And I'll also make another parenthetical statement here, which is to say that there are so many people on that film that I would work with again, and I am referring to crew. So if any of them are listening, they can assume it's them. And if you were a member of the crew and you were nice to me and you cared about how I was doing when I was clearly suffering, you're in my good graces forever. And there were many. This was a small majority, not a big, excuse me, it was a small minority. It was not a big majority.
Right.
Um, but for whatever reasons, they were, word had been handed down, it's okay to be mean to her. And I have my educated guesses about where that mandate came from.
Right.
Um, what it comes down to is, in the end, I don't believe that the film itself was compromised, because I was so pleased with it from the time that I saw the dailies right through the time it was in the editing room. There was nothing that I was upset with, and that's really kind of rare. Um,
That's amazing.
uh, I only became upset with it after it went back into other people's hands, and there was nothing I could do about it
Right.
to shore up the post production process.
Right. Right.
Um,
Oh, I'm sorry. Get 1 more second. Hi. Bye, guy. What's up? Sorry, give me 1 second. Okay, I probably have about 10 more minutes.
Fine, I think I could
Um,
sum it up by then. But the thing I want to say is that Magnetosphere is available in Canada and in the United States on several streaming platforms. I hope we can put this in the show notes somehow.
hmm
Um,
absolutely.
thank you. The main two are Amazon Prime Video and Apple TV, and then there are a whole bunch more. I can email you the image that shows where they all
Yes, that would be
are.
perfect.
Yeah, let me make a note about that.
Sure.
Can cut this out. You're welcome to cut this out too.
Hmm.
Um, note with places streaming. Um, anyway, so as mixed of an experience as it was, and as profound an effect as that has had on every bit of me since and continues to, I guess I'm glad that it was made,
Hmm.
and that it's resonating with people with things like synesthesia, things like ADHD, things like
Yes.
autism, things like dyslexia, things like people, things that things where people really did not feel at any point seen or even as though they were probably alive.
As one of those, I wasn't diagnosed until much later in life. That and that age specifically too, that Maggie is in the movie, and that time of in the 90s especially, like there was just no information on that kind of thing. So you did feel alone. I did feel very, very different than all of my peers and very aware of it, but didn't know why until I was like 34.
Mm.
So I think that it's important to make these types of movies.
She's leaving cardboard.
Okay, then leave her out here. Thank you. Um, I really think these kinds of movies and movies that are made, hold on, what am I trying to say? I really think representation is such a key part of where film and media needs to grow and expand like as to your experience as a woman in the filming of the production, as a woman who does not see herself represent like in those like the neurodiversity and those things. And you know, we saw when they made Ariel black and all the black girls that like felt finally seen on screen, and it's like this shit matters so much. And so
And
whatever
everybody
ways
else
you're
goes around complaining about it as though it's somehow
takes away from their
ruins their day.
experience. But it's like there's 9,000 trillion movies with white people in it. Okay.
Realize there's
Like we
already a
can,
white area, right? Yeah,
well, exactly. Exactly.
there's
So
one.
there's one already. So it's fun. Like,
All the others.
but that's also probably why, like, too, your movie makes potentially when these types of topics or these things are brought to the forefront, it makes people feel uncomfortable because they have to confront their own biases. And so,
They do, and sometimes they
yeah.
don't, because I remember seeing one review on one of the sites from a user that was something like, "Yeah, I feel like maybe a kid would like it. Like it was like bad. I turned it off after like 2 minutes." I think, well, thanks for that thorough review. Your analysis just bowls me over. Did you get past the credits? My hat is off to you, sir, or madam, as the case may not be.
Wow.
Anyway,
Sure, I know. Okay,
Jesus.
well, ma'am. All right. Hi there. We're all set. Thank you. Why don't you come up here with me? So yes, if you want to send me all of the links for where it's available and the
Absolutely.
image and all of that.
Yeah, that would be
And
terrific.
hi. Hi there. Hello. Um, and what I'll do is edit within the next week or so.
That would be terrific.
Um,
Feel free to
and
anything negative I said, feel free to edit it out. I don't mind.
no, I think it was a beautifully honest conversation, and I think more the more we talk about all of the things that we talked about today is important. And
It's important because film bros are disgusting, and although that
and
often,
there's bros in every industry, right? Like
yeah,
it's they're everywhere, and in the sense that we need to call them out. Like it's important to call them out because nobody does because they're bros. Trust me, I've been a victim of many bros in my life. So it's a challenge to yeah, just fight all of that. And despite it, you still made a movie and you still made a movie that matters. And
well, I don't.
like
I hope that the movie. I will go to my grave hoping that the movie was well done and that what I set out to achieve was achieved despite the spanners thrown in the works.
right.
And to this point, I think it was. Up until now, I
Yeah,
think that it didn't suffer. I don't think the actual.
no.
I think the production suffered. I don't think the movie suffered, which are
Right, right. Oh yeah.
things.
which, and so you did despite it. And that's
But
really
I
cool.
but I am really have been really curious about the distinction between people who the distinction between people who watched it and people who I don't want to say that. I'm going to start over again. It's not quite like
Hmm.
that. What the distinction is between I have been really curious at the distinction between people who've watched it who identify as neurodivergent in some way and people who've watched it who don't because it's night and day.
Right.
Now, was I setting out to make a film only for neurodivergent people? Obviously not. I was really more or less setting out to make a film for anybody who has ever felt different or alone or ostracized or just
Right.
weird in some way. I spent my entire teenage life outside of my home, which was very happy, dealing with bullying. Long story, not worth getting into, but that did not pick up again until the time I did this movie, and
Mm.
um, it was ironic given what it was about.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but I think um, I think it is a film for everyone, not necessarily for everyone, but I had like I said that I think I lost the train of this thought, which is my own probably ADHD kicking in. But
That's
I was saying earlier that the latest review, one of the latest reviews we got, she said it's for everybody, and I thought it is for
it
everybody.
is.
Why was it? And you only have to have seen chunks of it to know that. So why
Right.
was it that the film festivals couldn't be bothered to watch it? Why was it that the agents and distributors and middlemen couldn't be bothered to watch it? Why was it that people said, "Oh, there's a girl, I don't want it," and I'm the only thing the and okay, granted, that's not exactly how they said it. It was actually probably more loud and obnoxious. But
Right.
you know, I remain hopeful that it will continue to find its audience because so far it has, but the only way it has is by sharing posts with people such as yourself
Right.
who have a
Right.
large neurodivergent
Hmm.
audience of people who are 7 times more
I
likely than not to appreciate this film.
to appreciate and get something from it. And I think too, like with hold on, I lost my train of thought.
Oh, it happens to me every 2 seconds.
Good Lord.
Dory the fish.
Uh, yeah, same. Um, uh, there was what? Okay, so we got about how to leave reviews, and
I'll send that to you
yeah,
as well. Yeah.
yeah, that's great. So, if after I do the editing, if I have it, or while I'm doing it, if I have any questions, just like if there's anything that I forgot about, I can also add to the description or whatever of the video, and I'll just let you
Yeah.
know.
Again,
Um,
thing that you're gonna, but yeah, mainly so I'll send you the link and then I'll send you the picture and then I'll send you the three
Perfect.
places that if you don't mind, you can leave a review.
Yeah.
Others can leave a review too.
Yes, of course. Of
Even if you've
course.
seen it only partially, it just needs to be a few words.
Yeah. I get it. I have a business like Google reviews, all of those kinds of things. It
Yeah.
every little bit counts. Okay, well, it was really, really nice to
It was
connect with
lovely
you.
chatting with you. I'm so glad we finally got to.
Me too. Me too. And I really enjoyed hearing about the process of the movie and yeah, I look forward to watching it and yeah, talking more about it and sharing because I already know a lot of people in my life who are going to benefit from the movie.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
part of the reason that I made it was because I felt that people would and could benefit from it, and that
Yes.
it went beyond being mere entertainment, which is fine. I don't mind if something is
Yep.
mere entertainment. In fact, I welcome it because
It's yep.
everything is pushed so hard to have a social justice message these days that
Hmm.
which is not in itself a bad thing. But when you make that the be all and end all of all entertainment, you lose track of why we try to entertain in the first
Right.
place and the extent to which it's distraction.
Absolutely.
And when everything is
Absolutely.
about, you know, a trans person having a terrible life or a Black person having a terrible life or this or that, um, you these could still be wonderfully made things. I'm not discounting that for a moment, but when you get to the point that that's, and I've been to many festivals like this where those things and things like them are essentially all you see.
Right.
All you see. I don't mean there's a few in each block or something, but
Right.
all you see. You know, and I don't want to get into examples.
Hmm. Hmm.
I think it takes away from entertainment as entertainment for the purposes of entertainment. And I'm not saying that you should go out and, you know, put up a production of Singing in the Rain. I mean, read the room, but like, um, there is, you know, everything had its time and place, and it still does. But really, what is this except a story about a little girl who feels alone and she's growing up and becoming sexually aware, if most certainly not active because she's
Hmm.
13. But really she's just a teenager who feels really uncomfortable in her own skin, and the goal is for her not to by the end of the movie.
Right.
And there is just nothing wrong with this, and there is just nothing childish about this. And that's all I've got to say. People should then
Love it.
watch it and form their own opinions, and I hope they do, and I hope they enjoy.